an extent to produce a nuclear weapon. The matter of nuclear weapon is intention. Yes, of course, technology is important, but the most important is intention. Our country has announced several times and repeatedly that Iran has no any intention to produce nuclear weapon. It is clear. But for our dignity, for our technological purposes, for our economic purposes, we will continue to produce the enriched uranium as far as we need for peaceful purposes. And always we are open and transparent in explaining the technical, economic, and economic aspects of these activities. And one more explanation is about the fact that those states or those entities who are enjoying big amounts of nuclear weapons, those states who have used nuclear weapons, and those states who are threatening others with nuclear weapons, they are not in a position to say anything about the peaceful activities of Iran. We will define to what extent we need uranium to be reached for peaceful purposes, and we will do it.
Olivia.
Thank you, Ambassador. Olivia Lepadova from Reuters. You said earlier that if you came to the conclusion that the US is directly involved in attacks on Iran, that you will start responding to the US. Can I please get some details on what you mean by that? Do you mean you would consider attacking US bases? Can we expect a broader regional war? Would you expect proxies in Iraq, Kataib, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Houthis to come to your support if you were to have to respond directly to the US? And secondly, how likely is it now, given the current events, that Iran might actually leave the non-proliferation treaty? And you're here in Geneva. Are there any talks expected, be it with the US, with Israeli counterparts, in terms of de-escalating the current conflict? Thank you.
With regard to the involvement of the US, we are very closely following and monitoring the involvement, the level of involvement of the United States. Our military forces are monitoring the situation. They are ready for any reaction, and they will react whenever it is needed. For our security and for our stability, we depend on ourselves. We don't have any proxy. We don't need any proxy. And we haven't bought our security from others. Our security is indigenous in our country, is what we have made it by ourselves. We are dependent on ourselves, only on ourselves, no any other country, no any other group. And we will independently react to any kind of threat which is imposed on Iran. And of course, as I told you before, it is due to the assessment of Iranian military forces. They will monitor the situation. They will monitor the involvement of any agent in these attacks. And once they come to a specific conclusion about the involvement of any agent, they will respond appropriately. The second thing about the leaving of NPT, yes, I can acknowledge that there are some discussions in some corners of Iran about the necessity of leaving NPT, not because of a negative intention, because those who are following these discussions, they believe that NPT has lost its credibility and its integrity. Because if NPT is something which can provide nuclear weapons for few states, if NPT is something to give them the potential to threat others, if NPT is something to deprive other countries from enjoying peaceful nuclear technology, if NPT is something which, if you are out of it, you have no any responsibility for not producing any nuclear weapon, then what is the meaning of NPT? What is the purpose of being in NPT? These are the discussions made in some corners in our country by some politicians, by some even parliamentarians. They have some arguments, but the final decision will be made by our government, and the final position will be announced by our government with regard to being or not to be in NPT. That is something that it is too early now to discuss it.
A quick follow-up, please, from Olivia.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for your response. I just wanted to be clear. So are you saying you are currently at the stage ruling out attacking US military bases if the US were to directly become involved in this conflict?
In fact, I'm not a military official. I'm a diplomat, but I'm confident on the vigilance and preparedness of our military forces. I'm not going to say what they will do, and I don't know what they will do, but I'm confident that they will react strongly, proportionately, and appropriately.
Kasmira.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Kasmira Jafford from Geneva Solutions. Just following up on Olivia's second part of the question, which I believe you didn't answer, but about potential discussions. What scope are there for Iran taking part, resuming nuclear negotiations and taking part in discussions over a ceasefire? I know you said at the beginning that you're not in a position at the moment that you're currently defending yourselves, but could you talk about the potential for discussions? Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to respond to this question, and thank you for reminding me for that question. Yes, as you are aware, we were not the one who left negotiations. We were negotiating, and we were seriously negotiating, and we were exchanging ideas and plans and proposals. And in the last round of negotiations, which was supposed to be held in Muscat last Sunday, we were supposed to share a proposal with the other side, which shows that Iran has been seriously following negotiations. Even in the previous occasion, it was not Iran who left the table. It was the United States, while we had an agreement, JCPOA, agreed upon by everybody and confirmed and approved by the Security Council. But it was the United States who, in an irresponsible way, left the agreement. This time, again, while we were negotiating, it was Israel who attacked Iran and made everything complicated. For me, as an Iranian, as I told you before, For me, like any other Iranian, there is nothing at this point more important and a bigger priority to stop Israel first, to stop aggression first, and to stop attacks first. And this is something which all Iranians are expecting the government to do at this point. Nobody in Iran now is expecting the government to alter the priorities. Now the first priority is to stop attacks and stop aggression. And Iran is a negotiator. Iran is a constructive player everywhere. At the same time, when it comes, Iran is a strong defender of its rights, if needed militarily. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we had on the list Yang Tong, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador. This is Mr. Liang from China Economic Daily. My question is simple. You, in the beginning, talked about Israeli targeting some civilian infrastructure in your country. Would you please kindly elaborate what are the things that are on the receiving end of the cyber sabotages, and what are the economic consequences that Iran has been suffering as a result of this military operation? And you said that you're going to respond proportionately. May I inquire, is it on your mind that there could be an escalation ladder where you're going to move to the point where the Strait of Hormuz has to be closed? Thanks.
As I told you before, yes, some civil infrastructure has been attacked by Israel. There has been some water infrastructure, some energy infrastructure, some pipelines, and our broadcasting headquarters has been attacked. Our telecommunication infrastructure has been attacked. And all these things have effects. They have effects on the life of our people, no doubt. And but there is a strong coordination and harmonization in our country to overcome these problems, to fix the things, and not to allow people to suffer very much from this situation. Everything has been fixed very quickly because our people, all sectors of our people have shown a great solidarity to be united against this situation, against Israel, and to fix the life of the people in the shortest time. And fortunately, we have been able to do it. But it does not mean that what Israel has done is a small thing. What Israel has done is a great violation of the most important principles of humanity and international law. And but as I told you, we have been prepared for everything, and we will fix everything in the shortest time possible. But yes, the second question.
The Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, I'm going to respond to that. Yes, with regard to the Strait of Hormuz, Iran has never officially talked about doing such a thing. And the Strait of Hormuz, we like it to be the Strait of Peace. We like it to be the strait which can be used and should be used for everybody, for transit, and for all countries. That has been our approach and continues to be our approach about the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is the Strait of Peace. If somebody tries to make it the Strait of War, then we will respond. But As far as its Iranian policy, we believe that the Strait of Hormuz will be used by all nations, by all countries, and would be a strait secured by Iran for peace.
Alena?
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I'm Elena Fedina from the TASS News Agency. And thank you so much for taking time to speak to us today. It's very important, I believe. And in the first part of our talk, you accused the Security Council of being useless in regards to Israel's aggression. What steps you expect it to take to stop these actions? This would be my first question. And the second one, because you were talking about the strong response as regards to Israel's actions, as a diplomat, I imagine you naturally don't rule out the diplomatic pathways to stop the actions of Israel, or at least make it restrain this dimension of aggressive actions. And Switzerland is known to act as the representative of the United States interests in Iran. This is what makes me wonder, is there currently any dialogue with Washington through Switzerland to end the current escalation? Thank you very much.
Yes, with regard to Security Council, it is something that has been acknowledged by everybody, including the members of the Security Council, about Security Council being or becoming a useless instrument. And the big failure of the Security Council in putting an end to the atrocities committed against Palestinian people and in Gaza showed that Security Council is not an instrument, an efficient instrument to be used in places which it should play a role. And it has been paralyzed because of the vetoing of the decision by the United States. There has been a lot of decisions and resolutions prepared by many countries to do something with regard to the situation in Gaza during last 2 years. But all have been vetoed by the United States. And when I talked to different officials, United Nations officials, they are telling me that, yes, they are concerned about the people in Gaza, the people in Palestine, but at the same time, they are concerned very seriously about the credibility of the United Nations, about the credibility of the Security Council. Because if Security Council cannot do anything in such a situation, then what is the purpose of the Security Council? Is the purpose of the Security Council to give shelter to Israel? If the purpose of the Security Council to give impunity to the criminals, to aggressors? If it is the case, what is the purpose of the Security Council? But we have learned not to hope for Security Council to do anything serious, at least with regard to those issues related to our country. We don't wait for the Security Council. We will put no any hope on Security Council. We will act independently, individually, and we will protect our interests with confidence and relying on our own capabilities. This is a fact that we are living with, and we will do based on this fact. And about the any kind of initiative to create a kind of negotiation or mediation, as far as I know, yes, there are some countries who who like to do something, who are trying to do something to control the situation. There are some countries who are wishing to bring an initiative for a negotiation between Iran and United States. Of course, it should be clear that there is no negotiation between Iran and Israel. We don't recognize Israel. Israel is the source of the problems. We should negotiate how to control and how to stop Israel. Israel is not something which anybody can negotiate with. But about any kind of negotiation between Iran and United States, there was negotiation, and there are some efforts by some countries to restore negotiations. But I'm not sure about any one of these initiations to be capable at this point to bring a change before stopping the attacks by Israel. I think first there is a must that Israeli attacks should be stopped, and we have to stop the aggressor. And at this point, even Switzerland has had the tradition of exchanging messages between Iran and United States. And I appreciate the willingness of the government of Switzerland to play a positive role in resolving the tensions and problems between Iran and United States. But sometimes these problems and these challenges are so complicated, and sometimes the negative and unconstructive and unhealthy approach and behavior of the other side is so severe that no any initiative can work. And in order for any initiative to be able to work, the first thing is that Israel should be stopped. And the second thing is that United States should live its dreams and should accept and recognize the fact that if they want to negotiate with Iran, they should understand that they are negotiating with a strong country, with a civilized country, with an ancient country, with a powerful country, and they have to adjust their policies. They have to adjust their minds.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. We still have Beza, Hugo, Dina, Satoko, Boris, and Isabel. So next one is Beza. Please, this way.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for this briefing. Beza Domes from Anadolu. I would like to return to the US situation. As you said, if we come to the conclusion that they're involved, we're going to respond. I would like to ask if you see President Trump's remarks, which they say that evacuating Tehran is necessary and there should be an unconditional surrender. Do you see those remarks as an involvement? Thank you.
Yes, we are monitoring the remarks by the United States officials, including the President of the United States. We consider them as irresponsible attitudes toward the challenges toward Iran, and we believe that United States policies with regard to Iran has been hostile during the past 4 decades. It's not a new thing. The threats of the United States against Iran is not a new thing. We understand that whatever threat against Iran has been done, there has been a role and involvement by the United States. For us, it is clear that the United States has a hostile attitude toward Iran because the United States does not like a country like Iran, a resistant country like Iran, who has stood up against the policies, arrogant policies of the United States. Iran is the country who is firmly standing up against the arrogant policies of the United States, and they don't like it, it is clear. But we will continue. And the remarks made by Donald Trump are completely unwarranted, are very hostile. We cannot ignore them. We are vigilant about what Donald Trump is saying. We will put it in our calculations, in our assessments, and there is a line which, if crossed, there should be a response on our side. And that line will be defined by our relevant authorities, including military forces. And once the red line is crossed, the response will come.
Hugo, please.
Thank you, Ambassador. Hugo Miller with Bloomberg News. You said that the attack on Natanz was not efficient. You said that the attacks on Iran's energy infrastructure have been quickly repaired. But given the scale of the attacks to date over the past 5-6 days, can you give us a bit more detail on the damage? Is there a sense that your enrichment program has been set back by days, weeks, months, or more? Can you just give us a bit more detail on where you candidly think the program, energy program stands? Thank you.
Yes, as I explained before, we have been prepared for such attacks. And, you know, Iran is an efficient country. Our organizations are efficient organizations. Our authorities are vigilant and prepared. And we have been prepared for any scenario, for any case. And that's why we have been able to manage the situation. There has been some damages to some water infrastructure, some energy infrastructure. The Israel attention has been to have great damages, but our defense system has been efficient in responding and in making them fail. Of course, whenever there is a damage, it takes a little bit time to fix it. But as I told you, because of the efficiency of our system and the efficiency of our organizations, and most importantly, because of the solidarity of the people, which we can see nowadays among Iranian people, it is unprecedented. Such level of solidarity and unity among Iranian peoples. Even those who don't like the policies of our government, inside and outside country. Nowadays, they are expressing solidarity. Nowadays, they are condemning Israel. Nowadays, they are telling us that we are ready to do anything for our country. Because of this solidarity, Iran has been able to fix the things very quickly. And if there is something remaining, we will fix it. And on the attacks on the enrichment facilities, there has been an attack, and this attack is against all norms, is against all principles, and it is one of the most critical red lines crossed by Israel. But Israel has not been able to bring a big damage to our nuclear facilities because we have had precautionary arrangements before. We have made necessary arrangements before in order to protect our facilities, in order to make them secure and safe in the case of any aggression or attack by anybody. Because we know that they are against our people, they are against our people to enjoy this technology. And in order to guarantee the rights of our people to use this technology, we need it, and we need to do anything to make it secure and safe. And we have made it safe.
Just to follow up, so you're saying there's really been no setback in time terms. If you're saying that the attacks have essentially failed, the precautions, the measures you're taking by putting the development program underground, you're saying that it has essentially not set back the program?
I don't know what you mean by setback, because setback is a valid question when you discuss about a military program. But if there is no any military program, setback does not mean, because Iranian enrichment activity is a continuous research and scientific activity made by Iranians. It is in the minds of the Iranian scientists. You cannot put any setback to the knowledge of the Iranian scientists. The knowledge is there. And I don't think there is any kind of setback in our continuous and instant nuclear research and technological activities. And therefore, our scientists will continue their work, and they will follow the plans which have already been defined with the aim of fulfilling our necessities with regard to the peaceful nuclear technology.
Satoko, please.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Satoko Adachi from a Japanese daily newspaper, Yomiuri Shimbun. I want to ask about the linkage between the IAEA report last week and the Israeli actions. Do you think the IAEA Board of Governors report on Iran actually helped create legitimacy for Israeli attack on Iran? And secondly, could you give us your view on the true purpose of the Israeli attack on Iran? Do you think the true purpose is to degrade Iranians' ability to enrich uranium, or to bring about regime change in Iran? Thank you.
With regard to the linkage between the report and the resolution of IAEA and Israeli attack, I don't think there can be a valid linkage, because the report does not tell anything to justify the attack of Israel. It is the other way around. the report, the information provided by the report, once again acknowledges that there is no any intention in Iranian nuclear activities to pursue military purposes. And if Israel was looking for a criteria, if a criteria was important for Israel, and if a report is important for Israel, then Israel could not base its action on that report. For Israel, no report is important. For Israel, no document is important. For Israel, no resolution is important. Look at the crimes of Israel in Palestine. Which resolution, which Security Resolution, Security Council resolution, which GA resolution has been respected by Israel so far? None of them. Israel is the clear manifestation of violating and breaching everything. Israel is the strongest manifestation of disrespect to resolutions, to reports. And I don't think Israel needs any kind of report to conduct its hostility against Iran. Israel is Israel. It's criminal by nature, and you cannot expect any such a criminal to act in a civilized way. Israel is against the human civilization, is against humanity, and Israel will destroy the humanity. Israel has destroyed humanity. Israel has destroyed all international law. There is no any credibility for international law. And there was, I think,
I'm sorry.
the second question. Yes, as I explained, I don't think the intention of Israel is limited to destroy our enrichment facilities. Israel considers Iran as the only country who is supporting Palestinian people and is supporting the people in Gaza. Israel considers Iran as a country who will not go along with its hostile policies, with its criminal policies. Israel considers Iran as a resistant, as a country who will stand in supporting the oppressed people, in supporting the Palestinian people, and Israel wants to make everything in order to get sure that there is nobody to support Palestinian people. But this is a dream which will not be realized.
Dina.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Yes.
I'm Dina Abishab. I represent different Arabic media. Actually, we always focus on the Iranian nuclear program, which is, according to IAEA, is still peaceful. But on the other side, Israel also has its own nuclear program, which is top secret. Nobody knows how much and how strong the bombs, nuclear bombs it has. Are you afraid of being attacked by nuclear bombs from Israel? Is it a real threat today to see this? Of course, nobody wished to, but are you ready to face such an attack? And another question, Iran has threatened to withdraw from the nuclear non-proliferation treaty and the IAEA. What does it mean? Thank you.
Yes, I think, yes, Israel has acquired nuclear weapon. Israel has a secret military nuclear program, and Israel has not accepted any monitoring, any verification. Israel does not work, does not cooperate with any monitoring organization. And indeed, Israel, by possessing nuclear weapons, is a big danger for the global security. We understand it. We do not underestimate the fact that Israel, by nature, is a criminal who can commit everything. But the way we have to deal with this fact is to be prepared for any scenario, for any case. We cannot expect Israel to show any kind of respect to any regulation, to any norm. And for such an entity, the only way to deal with is to be prepared and to be strong. And with regard to the second question, I think I answered that question before about the possibility of withdrawing NPT. Yes, as I told you before, there are some discussions among parliamentarians, among politicians in Iran. There is an inclination among some people in Iran about the uselessness of NPT and serious questions about why we should continue being in NPT. But these are the discussions which are made in an open and democratic society like Iran. But the final decision will be made by the relevant authorities, and I think they will wisely decide about our approach and our policy with regard to NPT.
Thank you. Isabel?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for this briefing. I am Isabel Saco for FIT Spanish News Agency. I would like to ask you about the human toll of the attacks, because the government, the authorities have recognized around 220 deaths, but many independent sources are stating or close to 600 deaths. So I would like you to give us the last information that you have on this, and if the attacks are focusing for the moment just in Tehran and around the nuclear facilities, or if there are other locations in the country, civilian locations that has been hit. Thank you.
According to the figures provided by our relevant authorities, particularly the Ministry of Health of Iran, and as far as I have followed, there has been more than 220 people killed and hundreds of people injured during the attacks. And even there has been some Iranian scientists assassinated. There has been an ambulance belonging to Iranian Red Crescent organization, which was attacked the day before yesterday, leading to the killing of 3 members of Iranian Red Crescent organization. Some health workers have been attacked. And as I told you, due to the attack made against Iranian broadcasting headquarters, 3 journalists have been killed. And as you can see, most of the victims are civilians. More than 30 children, more than 50 women have been killed. And they have attacked blindly the residential areas, the buildings, which have been inhabited by civilians, and I think their intention is to create fear among people. Most of the casualties have been from civilians. I think most of the locations attacked by Israel are residential areas, are civil infrastructure. Israel has not been able to attack our nuclear facilities efficiently, and there has been some efforts to attack nuclear facilities, but most of the attacks have been conducted against residential areas, against civilians, and most of the victims are civilian people in our country. And I don't think Israel has any concern about the targeting civilians, and I think they are intentionally targeting civilians.
So thank you. We'll have last question, Boris Engelson. Oh, Johnny, sorry.
Please.
So, Boris and John. So Boris, quickly, s'il te plaît. Non, mais c'est pas une raison. Vas-y.
Okay, Boris Engelson, a local freelancer. I have three short questions. First, before the last US presidential election, some experts on Middle East affairs expected a reversal of alliances, saying the US was fed up with Israel and was looking for alternatives. This is my first question. Could you see that? Second, it has been alluded already twice about are the enemies of Iran or of the regime? Some people say when there will be full-fledged democracy, free election, free parties, free association, free press, and secular laws, there will be no longer problems. So I do not ask you if you approve of that point of view. I ask you what you answer to this view. And the third question, whatever the right and wrong in the current war, Iran seems a bit isolated, as neither China nor Russia nor Turkey seem keen on crusading against Israel. Do you consider these three states as complicit?
Fortunately, there has been a good alliance emerged in our region for peace and regional cooperation and regional stability. Beforehand, we had some problems in our own region, some sorts of misunderstanding in our own region, but fortunately, because of the wise decision of the leaders in our region, now we have come to a good alliance and cooperation for the regional prosperity and the regional security. That is a positive development which we cherish. But United States has tried to interfere in all issues in our region. United States does not like the security in our region. And while we were working, and still we are working with our neighbors, with our friends in the region, to make our region a prosperous region, a stable region, a secure region. But Israel, as I told you, Israel is the source of insecurity in our region. And Israel does not like our region to become secure and to become stable. As far as Israel is in our region, there will be no security in our region, because this is the main problem and the main source of insecurity. But we in our region have decided decisively to work together with our neighbors to cooperate together for the peace, for the stability, and for the prosperity of our region. And I think the alliance, there can be an alliance of civilizations, alliance of peace lovers, alliance of freedom lovers, but an agent like the United States or the current president of the United States cannot be a party to such alliances. They can only be a party to the alliances for crime, the alliances for evil, for alliances for war. They can be a party for those alliances, but they cannot be a party for peace and for freedom and for stability. Iran is a democratic society. Iran is an evolving society. Iran has a big and rich history, and our people are determined to independently work together for the prosperity and development of our country. And we don't believe in any claim of those who are claiming. We don't believe that they are concerned about human rights, they are concerned about freedoms, they are concerned about democracy. Nobody can believe them. Maybe beforehand there was some questions, or some, we didn't have enough evidences to tell everybody, to show everybody that United States is not supporting human rights. But now it is clear for everybody. There is no any need for provide any more evidence. It has become clear and more clear than ever that United States has nothing to do with democracy, has nothing to do with human rights, and is the main state which is destroying freedoms, destroying democracies, and destroying the independence of countries, and by exerting unilateral coercive measures is violating the rights of the targeted countries for prosperity, for economic welfare, and this is a crime. Unilateral coercive measures is a big crime against targeted countries, which is violating the right to health, right to house, and all rights, all human rights. This is a big crime, and the main sponsor of this crime is the United States.
Thank you. Before we wrap up, yes, sir. Last question, John.
Yeah, yes, good morning. John Zarakostas with France 24 and the Lancet Medical Journal. I was wondering, so firstly, if you have any comments. Yesterday, the Swiss State Secretary met with the Deputy Secretary of State in Washington, Mr. Landau. As you know, the Swiss represent US interest in Iran. If there's something in the works about a US-Iranian meeting at highest levels, given President Trump suggested that Vice President Vance and his Middle East envoy would be available to negotiate with your counterparts. And secondly, with reference to the situation in Iran, you mentioned you're prepared. How prepared is the country in civil defense in the worst case scenario of a radiological fallout if one of the facilities was attacked and had leakage, serious leakage within Iran and affecting neighboring countries? Thank you.
As I explained before, there has been some efforts by some states to do something to control the situation and to innovate a solution for the current tensions. And but if there is any serious initiative, I'm not aware of that. And I generally know and understand that there are some efforts by some states to do something. But if I'm not sure if there has been any serious initiative developed or emerged so far or not. But we really recognize and cherish the role of the countries, including Switzerland, who are trying to bring an initiative to solve the problem and to bring a solution for the tensions. And with regard to the second question, I think instead of expecting Iran to control the effects of attacks on nuclear facilities, everybody should push Israel for not making any threat for those facilities. Because if facilities are attacked, there is no guarantee that the radiation is harmless. There would be some harms, serious harms, not only for Iran, but also for the neighborhood. Therefore, there is no any guarantee to make sure that if a nuclear facility is attacked, there would be no any effect. There would be effects, and you cannot expect Iran to control all these effects. You should, or the international community should make Israel to respect international regulations and not to make any threat to the peaceful nuclear facilities. It is, I think, a global obligation to secure the safety and security of the peaceful nuclear facilities everywhere, including in Iran.
So, Mr. Ambassador, so a big thank you to you. Also, a big thank you to your team, and a particular thank you to Mariam and to Maeva, who did start the discussions between the mission and ACANU. And of course, you're welcome if you want to come back. We will be happy to have you.
I definitely should come back because today, because of the current situation, we were not able to discuss other issues. There are a lot of other issues and matters which I like to discuss it with you. I had prepared myself for those discussions, but since you were interested in focusing on the current situation, so our discussion was limited to the current situation, and I hope one day I come back to this kind of briefing session to discuss other issues too. And once again, my apologies to you for making an interruption in the middle of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think you have an interview.
Good.
We will have a special one tonight.
Okay.
So Mariam is in contact.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
From China.
Thank you.
Can I have one question?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
In your time.
Good.
Would you be open sometime to doing a one-on-one?
Yes, of course.
So we could approach your mission.
Yes, I will give your visit card to my colleague. Then we will arrange it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
really get a sense of, you know, you get these extraordinary comments from President Trump,